Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. As always, lovely to spend time with you. First of all, a few of you have been in touch and you're not well at the minute. There's a couple have had cataract surgery, there's a few broken bones around, and a couple of you are looking after partners that aren't very well. So a big special hug to you before we start, because that's the important thing. We're all here for each other. Now today, please bear with me, but I'm going a bit festive. I know some people it's early for Christmas designs. Some people, well, those of you that have been making them since January, you've probably finished all yours by now. But I just wanted to come in with another design using our sticker stencils. So this is set 9. And if you remember the other week, I used the beautiful jar out of this set. It's the Moon Jar collection, and we've got the jar and the dome. And I did promise I'd come in with a Christmas design. I did a Christmas design with my original samples, and I have to say the comments were so lovely and so many of you asked for a tutorial. So I thought I'd come up with a tutorial. I'm not using the same stamps inside the little dome as I did on my original, because again, you've seen that design. And we've got so many Christmas stamps, I thought I could mix it up a little bit. And this is what I've come up with. And this obviously will just stand up. And if I bring it a bit closer, you can see that beautiful stickles. We've got some wink of Stella, got some Posca snow, all the things that we need in our beautiful Christmas dome. Now I have a thing about these. I love glass domes. I have a fair few around the house all year, not just for Christmas, you know. I've chosen to just keep this sort of blues and browns today, but again, it would look nice with so many different colours. Now, I did mention the other time when I did the moon jar, these are sizable sticker stencils. So I'm just going to move this in and just come in with my ruler, because I know you like measurements. And the actual dome look, and excuse me because it's not the cleanest, is just under 6 inches. And width, we're talking just under 4. Now, I've used an A5 piece of cardstock here. So, but I am working, a few of you got in touch and said you like smaller designs. So I'm working on using part of it and seeing what I come up with for you. So I do listen. Now this one here, I've taken a piece of the A5 from this Multifarious multi-pack. But I've actually just taken a smidge off each side, just because the card stock is A5, and obviously my card base here is A5. So I've just cut a little bit off each one, just so that it fits nicely. And again, that depends. I mean, I haven't mounted mine, no matting and layering. You could take it slightly smaller if you wish to add some. Again, you know, you just take it and run with it. You're such a clever lot, I know you. Now I'm going to put that there. And I always find the card does have a right and wrong. Yeah, that's my best way. Sticker stencils, as always, de-tack them, and that means they're very tacky on the back, and you don't want them to take off the top of the card the first time you use it. So I just, on my jeans, my trousers, whatever I'm wearing, I'd like to say dresses, but I'm not a very dressy person, just so it's not quite as sticky. And then I'm going to go for, I want my sentiment underneath, so I'm going to go for that. Now, if you're the sort of person who's liable to go over there, I'd just pop yourself some low-tack tape there. I think I'll be okay. And we're going to start off with Della Blue, large stencil brush. Now, normally I would take the ink from my lid, but my Della Blue is quite an old ink pad. And I always say this, you'll know your own ink pads. So I can actually come straight from the ink pad. And I'm just going to add some basic. I'm using the larger of the brushes. And I just want to take the whiteness of the card away, all the way round. I'm not looking to add any detail with the Della Blue. It's just to take that harsh white off. Just to give me an edge to start with. And then I'm going to come in with the dark denim. And this time I'm going to go down to my number 3 brush. And I'm definitely working on the lid with this because this is darker colour. And I've got to be honest, oh, I've got some on my finger there, look. this technique I've done with most of the sticker stencils. I tend to put a lighter colour down in sort of like a larger area, and then I come in with my main colour and a smaller brush. And I'm just going to start to add a little bit of that detail round the edge. And again, I'm coming in from the side, look. And then just up. Oh dear, poor Eric, he's sat under my chair here and his tummy just rumbled. So if you heard something, that was Eric's little tummy rumbling. It's nearly his tea time, that's why. He normally starts moaning soon, so if you hear a strange noise, it'll be Eric telling me to get a move on and go and get his biscuits for him. I'm sure those of you that have pets know exactly what that's like. So there we go, look, I've just started very simply, and you'll do this a few times. Honestly, you'll get so used to doing it. And then for me, one of the most questions that I got asked was how to make this base look like a plinth. Now, I use the innie bit, look. No need to cut a piece of copy paper because you've got your innie bit. Tracy's thought of it, and all you're going to do is put that between. You've got 2 points, look, here and here. And you've got them on the design. So where the plinth would go from there to there. And again, stick it, so pop it down. And then on my lid, I want more colour from the side, and then across to the middle, and again ink up more colour from the side and just across slightly to the middle. And again, I'm always going in the direction that I want that to look. Look at that. Dead easy. Next one. So again, we go from that almost corner angle to there. Ink up, come in from the side to the middle, ink up again, this side, come into the middle, and then when we lift that off, pop that back on the carrier sheet, we've got this lovely plinth look. And again, you can vary if you want to add a little bit more colour. I'll just add a bit more so it shows up a bit better for you. Light things tend not to show up that well on the camera, but I'm hoping you can see that. So now we'll add some lovely stamping. And I decided for this one to use our lovely Christmas Joy. So I went for the Christmas tree, and we're using Versafine Clair. And this is Pinecone. Now, I couldn't decide. I could have done it all in tones of blue. Now, this, what would be nice, you know, if you knew your neighbour, well, obviously you know your neighbour, but if you knew what colour, some neighbours and some of our friends have themes, don't they? And they change the colour each year, because I know there's an on-trend colour. Must admit, I'm not sure what it is this year. I haven't looked it up. But if you know what I'm getting round to in my long way of chatting, if you know what colour, or if, say, it's for your sister and she always uses, I don't know, purple and blue, you could make it in the colours to match, couldn't you? I mean, that would be fabulous. That really would take it to be an individual card. And then that person knows that you've made it just for them. Now, I've stamped the tree a little bit higher just so I've got room for my lovely little wild hares. And it's a small set I'm using, so do bear that in mind when you get yours out. I mean, it might be you want to put a little fairy there, or I think you could possibly kneel in the snow. There we go, beautiful. And so I'll come in with my little wild hares. And again, I'm going to stick to the brown. And I'm going to add one this side, looking this way. And you get 3 on the set. Do need a new Pinecone ink pad, I must get one. It's sort of getting on its last legs. You know, you can tell, can't you, when they're just not quite as juicy as they were. It's a good job we can add some snow. We'll put him there. I think he's the him. And she's the, I think we've got a couple here, just looking at each other. And then, going to take one of these off. We've got an original Snowflakes set, and it's gorgeous little snowflakes. Now, I don't know if you've got this. We had new Snowflakes launched, but this was an original set. There's a set of 3 and 2 individual ones, and this top one, this individual one, is perfect, I think, just instead of a star on top of the tree. So I might just have to bring my head over, I'm afraid, just because I want that star or snowflake star to just sit, look, beautifully on top of our tree. I'm hoping, oh yes, that was just a bit of something. Just going to pop the lid on that, and I'm just going to give that all a blot, just to make sure that ink's nice and dry for the next little bit. And again, this is just the way I tend to work. So I'm going to add a little bit of shading now inside our glass dome. So I'm going to get my mini hill masks, and I think this is the one. And I'm going to stick with this dark denim, but I'm almost going to be quite gingerly with it. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shading under each of our little bunnies. And I'm shading upwards just because obviously I want there to be snow underneath. So this is just the shade around them. And the same with the tree. I'll come up with more shade in a minute. Now I want it to look like there's some snow on the ground here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue. And again, I'm upwards of the mask now. Normally when we're doing landscapes, we're filling in below. But this I'm going upwards just so it looks like that's the shadow and this is the snow. So I think we'll have one more this way. And I'm not going to add, this is going to be lighter because it's further away. So I'm not going to add any more ink. If I want to have a look, I can lift it up. Yeah, that's just the right amount. Then I'm going to add my moon mask. So again, you know me, I turn it upside down. But what I want to show you is if I put the moon mask here, I love the way that shape there is almost mirrored with the shape of the tree. So for me, I think that just helps with the design. And we'll pop that there. And again, I'm starting at the base. And I don't want too much colour here, so gently, gently. Try the ink you've got left on your brush first before adding any. Yeah, I can add a tiny, but I don't want to overcook it. Yeah, I think that's just the right. So you see how we've built up that lovely picture so far. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of violet chalk, just because when it's snowing, and those of you that live in places where you don't have snow at Christmas, maybe you could have this on the beach. Maybe you could do your browns, your Saharas, and make this a beach scene. But certainly here, when it snows, the sky tends to have a sort of purpley tones to it. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of violet chalk, and then it just reflects that colour in the sky and a little bit in the snow. And then a little bit across the base there. And it's not too much, and it'll probably be quite hard for me to show you because light colours don't show up well on here. But take it from me, that purpley tone, and when you have a go yourself, you'll see that the purpley tone really adds something. So we'll add some colour now to the baubles. And I've got 3 colours of my metallic, not easy to say that, is it? Metallic gel pens. And these are the Signo ones. And we have the Uniball, we have blue. And I think that one's green and this one's violet. Obviously the blue and violet to go with the sky. And then the green just because I had a green. So now for me, this is the hardest part because it's randomly colouring in. See, I thought you were going to say, I bet you thought I was going to say it's hard colouring circles. But it's the randomness. So I'm doing my blue ones first because blue's my main colour. Then I'm going to come in and add some purple. Now again, you can take your time and really enjoy colouring in. Right, I'm going to come in with the green. And then if I have any spaces left, I'll cut back in and use my blue. That's the way I sort of approach it. So with my blue, because that's my main colour, I'm just going to dot a few of these in the middle. And this is the bit where, when you're watching, you're dying to say somebody, you've missed a bit there. I think we've got them all. Oh, nearly. Lovely. So, a little bit of highlight. So in with our soft pastel pencils. And I need my white and my light blue. And first of all, just going to give my lovely wild hares a little bit of highlight. Obviously the moon's over there, so a little bit of shape. And again, give them nice fluffy tails. And then with the light blue, I'll just come in and add a little bit more shadow on the snow. So the tree, the moon's there, so it'll be across there. And again, I don't want to overdo it. A little bit there. And this hair, it'll be more or less straight, won't it? Not a little bit of sideways movement, but not as much as this one. And if you want, you can also add a little bit more just to the sides here. And again, as always, I'm just smudging it just to accentuate a little bit in those corners. Lovely. Now, what I do want to do is just add a little bit of my silver Wink of Stella. And I'm doing this before I take this mask off, only because I want to add some white snow, my Posca, and I only want to have it in this area. So I don't want to take the mask off until I've done that. So a little bit of lovely sparkle there, and the white Posca. And I just want to dot a little bit more Posca on the tails, just to sort of brighten those up a little bit. And I'm just dotting it to highlight it. I don't want to do a definite circle. Right, so we'll have some snow. Now, I don't want it on the base here, so I'm just going to grab a piece of copy paper. There we go, just to save it going on there. Now, to wipe this, all you do on your mat, damp cloth, and then a dry cloth. So I've just got my lint-free cotton inky binky, just a cleaning cloth, whatever you normally use, and then that goes back on its base. Now, I think that's lovely, but it's not quite finished yet. So what we need is our greeting, and this is from the Christmas greetings, and I've just put it on my block at a slight angle, just because we've got the angle there. And I love to angle our stamps. So again, keeping it to the brown, pop it sort of there, lovely. And then I just felt it was missing something here, and I couldn't decide whether to add a bow or not. And then I thought I'm going to go for my mini holly. Now do check the mini stamps out. I must admit, every time I buy some Lavinia stamps, I add a couple of mini stamps in. And those of you that know me know that the holly, I think I have 3 of these now. Now I'm just taking off the little bit of ink there, just on the stem. I don't want a lot of ink on the stem. I have to confess, I have got one where I've actually cut the stem off, but shh, that's our secret, don't tell Tracy. But I couldn't quite lay my hands on it. You know what they're like, which is why I have 3 of these, because these, you know, mini stamps, they do hide, don't they? It's like Pippin. Pippin goes for a little jaunt every so often, so I have 2 Pippins. The lovely mini butterfly, I have 2 of those because that flies off. I'm sure it just goes to different parts of the world where it's warm. So again, I've just taken the ink off there just so that I can get my lovely stamp in here, look, and have no stem. And I like that little, so just the 3 to create almost like that nice little shape there. And then I don't want to add red. Now, I know you're going to tell me, Jo, berries are red, but I just thought red would spoil this design. So I decided mine are going to be purple. After all, it's magic, it's Christmas, it's Lavinia. And there we go, I was going to say, somebody keeps hiding my Posca, you know. And I'm just going to add a little bit of white on top, just for that little bit of highlight. And a couple on the leaves. There we go. And then last of all, I mean, I think that's stunning. Now you can leave it like that. If you're not a glitter person, leave it like this. But if you are going to come in with our stickles, Stardust, and you know me, sometimes it can, like that, it just spits a bit. So I'm going to put a bit on my mat and just come in with, here we go, this is the one. This is just an old Wink of Stella brush, which I now use for painting. And I'm just going to add and just paint on a little bit of my stickles. So I'm just going to put it round the bunnies, round the tree, in the corner here, because it would just collect in the corners, wouldn't it? Let's have a little bit on the holly. And it's up to you how much. I just want, did you hear it then? It does spit. Naughty. A little bit just at the edges of these branches, just on top of that Wink of Stella. And then finally, if you want, and this is where behave, no spitting, what looks nice is you can just dab it on top. This is where I'm holding my breath. Please behave. So it looks as though it's just landed on top. So the snow has landed nicely on top of your wording. Look at that. So it just looks as though it's just snowed. And for me, I think that's just such a lovely touch. But all that, I mean, think of all the different designs that you can make to go inside your beautiful dome. And there it is on a card blank, ready to send. Now, you see, that's a win-win for me because I've got 2 designs to add to my Christmas collection. My little box is getting quite full already. Oh, final little thing I missed. With your Posca, just up here, a little bit of a highlight to just accentuate a triangle, and then a line and a line, just to make it look like we've got a lovely dome. So I do hope you have a go. Please tag me in. I love to see what you create. And I can't wait to see what stamps you're going to use. What about Mary? Now, she'd look lovely inside a dome, wouldn't she? And don't worry, there's little air bubbles all the way around. So nobody's hurt in these domes, they can all breathe, and we do feed them and give them water. Anyway, you take care. Thanks as always. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.